This program is brought to you by realestate.com.au, Australia's #1 address in property. With more properties for sale than anywhere else, we make it easier.
Thanks for your company here on Business Now. Let's take you around the auction markets from over the weekend. And REA Group reports there were 1,466 auctions across the country, and the clearance rate you can see here, 64.2%, so pretty strong. The volumes, they're starting to pick up again with a view to the key spring selling season now coming closer. In Sydney, there were 522 auctions. The clearance rate you can see here, just under 64%. Melbourne, 533 auctions, and here the clearance rate's strong at 71%. Now in Brisbane, 97 auctions, and close on 59% of those were sold. In Adelaide, 52 auctions. It's the strongest clearance rate in the country at 75%. And the ACT, 30 auctions, clearance rate there, 77%, give or take. So let's bring in here Eleanor Creagh, Senior Economist with the REA Group. Eleanor, do you sense that property investors have already got the feeling that the interest rate rises are coming to an end, so they can now start to jump in with some sort of glee, if you like?
I think that's probably playing into what we're seeing in terms of market conditions at the moment. We've seen several months of positive price growth. We're seeing that clearance rates are holding firm despite auction volumes being pretty robust. And really those, I guess, more positive market conditions are becoming self-reinforcing. And certainly with a little bit more economic certainty, a little bit more certainty around where future borrowing costs are going to be, I think that we are seeing that stronger housing demand that we kicked this year off, just continuing.
Okay, so then it would be remiss of me not to mention that tomorrow being the first of the month, you come out with your, property results for the previous month. That would be for July. Now, I know you're not going to, spill all the beans for me now. Just give me a sense as to what they're going to be like when they come out tomorrow.
So we have continued to see that so far this year, the market conditions have really been shaped by the fact that we have this environment whereby we've got stronger housing demand versus a limited supply of stock on market. And that continues to see home prices lift, continues to erase the price falls that we saw throughout much of last year with the rebound and recovery in home prices ongoing.
But what you can tell me, though, is that there are some suburbs in the major capital cities, so we're talking Sydney, Perth, Adelaide in particular, that have seen exponential increases, double-digit this year already.
Exactly right. We've seen that Adelaide has really been a top-performing market over the past year, really defied the downturn that we saw in other markets last year and continues to see home prices rising to fresh peaks. So no surprises really to see that we've got some suburbs in Adelaide recording house price increases of more than 10% over the past 6 months.
But even Sydney, the most expensive of the markets around the country, it's had double-digit growth in some key areas as well.
Yeah, exactly right. We've got Hurlston Park, Fairlight, both those suburbs we're seeing that houses have recorded plus 10% growth over the past 6 months. And Sydney really continues to lead that rebound and recovery in home prices, with home prices in Sydney now up a little over 4% year to date.
Year to date 4%, which is worth thinking about. But then Perth is the other market, the resources boom, the iron ore boom that's taken place there. And also the fact that for such a long time, Perth was the laggard property market in this country. It's now played a lot of catch-up in a very short space of time.
That's exactly right. And I think as well, in Perth, we've got total listings really sitting close to historic lows, so not much choice out there for buyers, which is keeping market conditions competitive, and of course the comparative affordability of the city's homes.
So I mentioned also there the spring selling season, which is coming, traditionally when most of the stock hits the market. Is there any sense as to whether there is a lot of stock out there ready to hit the market?
I think we are getting a sense that it is probably gearing up to be a pretty strong spring selling season. I think that we've got these positive market conditions are likely to play into increased vendor confidence. So anyone that's been kind of holding back from listing their property for sale, we know that we've seen a little bit of softness with respects to listings volumes over the first half of this year. That's probably going to change into the second half of the year and into the spring selling season. It's probably going to be one of the key factors that shapes up the year ahead for property.
I'll tell you what, Eleanor, we'll keep an eye out for those property values when they land tomorrow morning, which will show what values have done around the country. But in the meantime, thanks for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Eleanor Creagh there.